Last time on Square Roots. Hey, my goddess and I saw you across the bar and really dug your vibe. Oh, she's your ex-girlfriend? And you're here on a mission to stop me from using her power to dominate the world. Yeah, that's kind of awkward. So, is that a dragon in your pocket, or... Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, I'll be over there.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by John, the ultimate Dragon Master, Brandon.
In a reference that literally no one will get, you, because of these bad headphones I'm using, sound like Zardip from Zardip's Quest for Healthy Wellness on TV Ontario.
And also joined by Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa!
We here on Square Roots like to talk about a game one chunk at a time, and we just finished the amazing Lunar.
Well, what are we going to do now?
Oh, we'll have to talk about that at the end of the episode. Hopefully you know where we're playing to next time. Cause,
I sure do.
It's all based on the winner of the Patreon vote that we didn't know last time we recorded. We can say it now. Vanessa, who won that Patreon vote?
Fallout New Vegas!
What?
Yeah.
Dominated from the beginning, dominated all the way to the end.
I guess a lot of people like a Fallout New Vegas, but it's lost so many votes before.
I know. It kept losing.
It's been on a lot of votes.
And somehow this time it pulled through.
Yay! Happy trails.
Congratulations, Vanessa.
To you.
Thank
Vanessa.
you. I'm really excited. I'm excited for you and Matt in particular to experience this game. Because I think that you're both pretty little baby fresh eyes when it comes to it. And I think it's a great game.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know if we've talked about this on the show, but I feel like when I do a vote, I kind of have one that I secretly want to win more than the others. Like one I really want to play. When you get that, when that happens, it feels so good.
But
I bet that's what you're feeling right now, Vanessa.
You can't put your finger on the scale. You have to step back.
I put no fingers on the scale.
And even if Lunar wins, you're still like, well, I respect that. I put that on the vote.
I guess we're playing Lunar.
I gotta respect the democratic process, and we do.
I put 4 games that I genuinely would have played and enjoyed, probably. But if there was one that I most wanted to win, yeah, I admit it was Fallout New Vegas. Because I almost put Fallout 3 and New Vegas on the poll, but I thought it would split the Fallout vote, and I didn't want to do that.
That would split the Fallout
vote. It's a good call.
Vote. Or if you'd done like 2, 3 New Vegas and that RTS, it would have probably gone to 2 because our listeners like an old school CRPG.
They like old school games. They like it when we play old school games. They like to make fun of us for being bad at video games.
Especially the old isometric computer RPGs.
Yeah, and we are. And people get a lot of satisfaction out of that. And who's to blame them? Not me. It's funny when people fall down.
We should have put Baldur's Gate 3 on there so we could have had sex with, like, apparently just everyone. Like, every clickable object in that game will have sex with you.
Wow.
Like, that
chest is
will be like
the biggest pitch
Do you
I've
like
ever
my
heard.
chest?
Sleep with a mimic. You seen them tongues?
Yeah, exactly. And like, Gelatinous Cube will be like, yeah, come inside me. Come inside me.
Yeah, wobbly, wobbly.
I'm going to digest all your clothes off.
You can put anything in any part of me and it will feel the same.
Exactly.
It feels just as good anywhere you put it.
And then the Chimera is like, which head do you want to use? What do you want me to do with this scorpion tail?
What that tail do, Chimera?
Jim, what object would you like to have sex with in Baldur's Gate 3? You've remained silent on this.
Like any object?
Yeah, any clickable object in Baldur's Gate 3 you can romance, apparently.
What? I don't know. I'm gonna pass. I don't know how to answer that. I never thought about my life in that context before.
I'd like to romance a phylactery.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say Wraith.
Wraith is not an object.
Well, object or person. I mean, it could be anything. Like anything.
You
in the
get
game.
us to talk
Say a
about
wreath?
pervertibles, and then you're like, oh, I just want a nice guy. You're disgusting.
A wraith, like, the undead, like a lich, kind of.
No,
A
you know
little
what?
less-
Why would you want to do that?
Yeah. Show me your boner. I guess a wraith doesn't really have bones. They have, like, ectoplasm.
I'm taking your wraith away, and I'm giving you a rake, and that's what you are stuck with now.
Aw, gee whiz. I think you could have... you just interpreted what I said poorly. And that's now on me? I don't think so. Jim, how did you level up?
I went and saw a movie in theaters yesterday that I almost completely forgot about until my brain forced myself to remember it right before this podcast. I went and saw Blue Beetle. Which, while I watched it, I really liked, and then as soon as I left the theater, I just completely forgot about it.
You told me all those things about it. That it had, like,
yeah, those
Final
were the
Fantasy
only
VII
things that I remembered.
reference.
George Lopez. I remember George Lopez. I remember
Sephiroth,
the suit
apparently?
being cool. No, I remember there's a Buster Sword in it, and you get to see Blue Beetle do a Cloud Limit Break.
Oh, nice.
And also there's a scene where the Blue Beetle is like, show me my arsenal, and the first thing that comes up is that super gun from Fifth Element. Remember that one they're selling in the Fifth Element that has, like, the rocket launcher and the net launcher?
No.
And all that? Oh, well, like, that gun popped up, which I thought was funny. So there was some fun stuff in it, but I don't know. It didn't blow my hair back,
Mm-hmm.
That's what we used to call a popcorn movie. You go see it, you enjoy it, but it doesn't stick with you. It's like popcorn. No
Like
substance.
Lunar.
Like Lunar, a popcorn game.
Goes in the Grandia pile, as John very eloquently put it earlier. Yeah, no, it was good. But, see it or wait. I don't know. And what else? I'm almost finished with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh.
Like,
Isn't that like a 100-hour game?
I'm just doing I'm not doing, like, any of the hunts or anything like that. Any of the fetch quest type stuff I'm not doing. I'm just doing, like, the stranger quests and the main quests.
Mm-hmm.
You did say that you finally bonded all the way with your horse.
Yeah, I bought this really expensive horse. It was like $1,000, which in that game is like a lot of money.
And you named it
took me
Vanessa?
forever.
Is that right?
I named it Vanessa because my first horse was named Johnny. And I bonded with that one lickety split, but I bought him for 14.
What happened to Johnny?
Johnny's still around. I still own him. I bought him. He was the first horse I ever bought from a stable, and he cost me like $14.
Oh.
But I bonded with him lickety split. Just gave him a couple beats, and he loved me.
Mm-hmm. Wait, Beeets?
Beets. Not like I wasn't hitting.
You weren't beating him.
And you weren't, like,
wasn't beating.
dropping the beats. You weren't like
wasn't dropping any beats.
Yeah.
Horses love sick beats.
Mm-hmm.
They do. But yeah, and I think it's probably gonna go in or around my top 10 on those, like the first one did. I'm really enjoying it, and those games still are really, I don't know. It starts out kind of one-dimensional, and then as the game kind of sucks you in, the writing just gets better and better and better and better. Those games do a great job of, like, building on the narrative as you go, and it's so fun. And
it does seem like you're playing against the bad guys from the first game, right? Like you're playing as the bad guys from the first game, sorta. The gang that Marston left.
Yeah, the first one you're charged with, like, finding and killing your ex-gang members, and in this is a prequel, so you're in the gang playing as a different character that wasn't in the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marston's
so you're
pretty messed up, and his wife's real mad at him. In the
it's cool being able to interact with the protagonist from the first one is a member in the gang that you sometimes like do missions with and stuff, because you just get like the game writes in a lot more color of that character, which is really interesting after like if you played the first one. So it's really neat. But I mean, I just think it's so well done, and I'm like the gameplay changes as you go in interesting ways. It's just a good game. So I'm excited. I'm doing that and finishing that up.
I did. So I got as far as
go ahead.
Like the end of the first train robbery and moving to the new
camp.
When
I first started playing it like a year ago, that's where I stopped too. Because I was like, maybe this game isn't for me. And this time I just kind of kept going with it a little bit.
Well, that train robbery was pretty fun, I thought.
Yeah, but everything's kind of on rails up to that point.
Yeah.
And I think it's after that the plot really starts picking up and the gang starts moving around and doing different things. And that's when like the whole kind of map opens up. Mm-hmm. So if you can push past that point, I would say, you can know if that game is for you or not. And it's very much for me. Vanessa, how did you level up?
Well, this is a tough one. I had to really rack my brain. I watched most of a series that you recommended to me called Influencer or something like that. It's a documentary series on Hulu about influencers who pulled various scams and cons. I love a scam and con show, and I like learning about influencers, so I enjoyed this. I would say that the episodes are of an inconsistent quality, but they're all worth watching. They're good stories. Some of them don't quite have enough to pad out their runtime, which I have noticed is a problem with documentary series where they try to make episodes all the same length, because some topics are just meatier than others. And all of these people didn't really come out well for their scamming and influencing, so probably don't try to do that. Although every time I watch one of those things, I'm like, it seems like it would be so easy. Like, what am I doing with my life? I should be out there scamming and conning. But I guess I'm lazy. Maybe it's not so easy after all, you know? Maybe I gotta really respect the hustle.
Your own boss, yeah.
Yeah. I like putting the work in and the paycheck comes out.
I'd imagine it'd be pretty easy to execute, though, because, like, as someone who works, like, on the other side of that, like, having to, like, deal with influencers and how much do you pay them, and companies really don't know how to budget for that stuff, even now. So, I could see, like, if the right marketing manager was convinced that this influencer like actually had 10 million followers and only wanted $30,000 or $100,000 for this one post, I could, if the right person believed it and got excited about it, then it was going to happen. So,
Jim, I have 10 million followers, and I only want $30,000 for one post.
I'm saying it does happen. So there are definitely people out there grifting.
Okay, well, I'll ask you for a list of names of people who fall for that kind of thing, and then I'll get my start. And I also finished the series Kenobi. Yes, I started it like a year ago.
Ooh.
Couldn't finish it. Finally got around to finishing it.
How was it?
It was fine. I was very surprised by the amount of Hayden Christensen in it. Because the amount I expected was 0, and that's not what I got.
How was he in it? I've heard this series wasn't great.
Was it the Shattered Glass level, or?
No, actually, what I was kind of impressed with is that his performance in it, because there's some contemporary things where he is essentially playing Vader, and then there are some flashback things as well. And in the flashback, he played it exactly as he played it in the movies, I would say. And I found that impressive, because I know that that's not him, because I've seen him do other things, like he wasn't just playing himself. But whatever performance he was giving in that movie, he was able to, 20 years later, just deliver it right up again. So good for him.
Good job. Did they have to de-age him?
I think that they must have to a certain extent, but he definitely looked older than he did in the movies. Okay. So I don't know if they just like didn't go all out with it, didn't care, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I kind of made me happy to see him in a way that I didn't anticipate, because I really have no emotional connection with the prequels at all. But I do have an emotional connection with Shattered Glass, so I guess that was where that came from.
Yeah, speaking of our old interview episodes.
Yeah, go check out our interview with...
I think we Downtown Brown that talk, didn't we?
No, well, you know what? On the cutting room floor, I guess.
Yeah.
Last time we didn't even get to explain.
Like Tears and Rain.
We didn't explain what Downtown Brown was in the episode called Downtown Brown, because that got Downtown Brown.
Listeners, if you think you know what Downtown Brown means.
Yeah, write in. Podcast@gmail.com. What does Downtown Brown mean?
To you. And those are, I guess, the two ways that I leveled up. I have also started watching Andor in an attempt to, I guess, catch up with Star Wars shows, which I don't really need to do. So it's not like an assignment. It's just something that's happening. Also, of course, it's August, and you know what that means. Brand new season of Taskmaster New Zealand is airing down under, by which I don't mean Australia, I mean sort of adjacent to Australia, in New Zealand. It's been fun and good so far. They're airing 2 episodes a week, Johnny.
Wow, that's a lot of Taskmaster.
Have you ever heard of such a thing?
Are they just burning through it in like 6 weeks?
Yeah. Don't know why. Don't care. Happy to have it. I guess I'll be sad when it's over, but I'm happy for my glut of Taskmaster now. Mm-hmm. Interesting fun Taskmaster fact. Taskmaster New Zealand will be airing in the UK for the first time in its history. Ooh. On Channel 4's supplemental channel. You'll be able to watch it on demand on all 4. So all our UK listeners who have been waiting for your chance to view Taskmaster New Zealand, it's coming. It's good.
What's the name of Taskmaster New Zealand's Alex Horn?
Paul Williams.
Now, he doesn't have the actual power on the show that Alex Horn has.
Correct.
So everyone is very... I mean, I really enjoy everyone's relationship with him because he's so... disrespected.
Yes, he is. And he plays perfectly this sort of extremely passive character. Like, he barely seems to be cognizant and aware of what's happening. They just tell him to do things, and he's like, okay. Moves over to where they want him to be, and then they'll like dump a bucket of ice water on his head or something. He's just like, oh. But it really works. Yeah, so I've been enjoying that. Enjoying Matt's continued Taskmaster journey, which I think is almost over because he's binged the whole dang thing. And I've promised to have a little talk with him about how to deal with Taskmaster withdrawal syndrome and some mitigating factors that you can look into.
Do you
Johnny!
Suffer from TMWS?
Yeah.
Talk to your Vanessa for help with TMWS.
Thousands of Americans suffer from TMWS every year.
Literally hundreds of Americans.
Dozens of Americans are suffering from TMWS.
At least 5 Americans.
Literally, there are dozens of us.
And that only leaves Mr. Octopus himself, Johnny Brandon.
I am wearing a shirt with an octopus. He's on a building and wearing a bandana. Mm-hmm. It's not Ultros, but he's the same color as Ultros.
He is Ultros adjacent. Mm-hmm. I don't recognize him as a named octopus, however.
No, it's just a fun drawing a friend did. But
It's
I
a
bought the shirt.
fun drawing a friend did, but he doesn't have a name.
I'll have an Ultros.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
There's an
yeah,
Ultros.
yeah.
We're
You sweet
all
tat.
about an Ultros. Vanessa needs a plushie Ultros.
I got this.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That is pretty good.
It's what is it called? Official?
it's official. 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 It's everyone's favorite flopping fish Pokemon. Official.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the names of Pokemon, okay? It's one of my weaknesses. I was in college when it came out. Come on.
Who is that Pokemon?
Sorry, I mean I
Official.
wasn't
Magikarp.
I wasn't born when it came out.
Yeah.
Well, Matthew's
We're
not here to
20-somethings.
enforce our ages. So what did I do? I went to a sushi place. Speaking of Pokemon, actually, I did go to an all-you-can-eat sushi place, and I did post a picture on my Facebook of the weird Pokemon statues they have at the front entrance of this.
Yeah.
Like, this is a big restaurant. It's not a small one. But it did have a display of very muscular Pokemon.
I would call it a horny Pokemon display.
And then there was one that looked like Seaman, that fish game one, or I guess it was like some kind of sort of Japanese style totem. Like it was like an animal totem thing, like reminded me of old Japanese statues. And
It
Vanessa
looked like a
loved
Dragon
that
Ball
one.
thing to me.
What was it, a
Yeah.
Bulbasaur or something?
It was a Bulbasaur that looked like semen, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Seaman the game.
Oh.
Oh boy. So update to Johnny's PC situation. Johnny's PC died last Sunday. It just wouldn't play games anymore.
No
No way. You just got that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I got it last year, and it has a 3-year warranty, Jim. So don't fret. It's going to
good.
be better. Something will happen. It will get fixed. Everyone will be happy. So at least that meant that I could bring it in, because it'd be like, run literally any game on this system. You will see that it crashes pretty much right away. It has some kind of heating issue, like the cooling.
Oh, that's
issue.
a bummer.
Either the fans on the graphics card or the fans on the PC or on the chip aren't working. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. So I've been going through and being like, okay, well, I've been sort of relying on my PC mostly for my good time gaming time. So I'm going back to my Xbox and my PlayStation and sort of seeing
Nice.
what you got to entertain me. And I tried playing a bit more of that Final Fantasy 16. It's kind of boring. Vanessa, have you found the same thing?
I sort of stopped playing it, mostly because I was playing Lunar, and then also just a ton of Fallout 76 with you, Johnny Brandon, and also on my own, which explains why I'm now like 40 levels ahead of you. But I'm sure you'll catch up. I stopped like around the time you're leaving to go get on a ship, and I wouldn't say that I was like at a point where I'm like, no, I don't want to play it anymore. I just stopped. And that's
I
happened
did
to me
finally
with
get to
Final
meet
Fantasy
Get.
games before.
And he is a real Johnny boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big lad, for sure, with a nice beard.
One thing that I've had trouble with in that game is that I do tend to like to listen to a podcast when I'm playing games.
And they won't shut
this
up
game
on this game.
They won't shut up. They have so much dialogue all the time. You walk like 5 feet and then it's time for another dialogue.
Like, can't you just like Lunar? At least they keep their mouths shut when you're fighting.
Mm-hmm. It's like, shut up.
There's
I'm
no
watching
exposition
TV.
here. You can listen to all the podcasts you want, and same with Fallout, really. Unless you get into an explicit dialogue scene, no one's telling you anything.
No, you can just sort of wander around, and then I often am playing that with you, so we have a chit chat, and that serves the place of a podcast.
Yes.
Chatting with your friends. It's like a
Vanessa
podcast that
does
talks
make
back to
me
you.
like talk in like sections, and when I change the topic, she does make me say Act 2. And then like come up with a name for the to describe.
Vanessa
the next thing.
does make you still do segments.
Yeah. She wants me to do segments while we're playing Fallout 76.
I want an introduction. I want you to
she
say
drifts in and out of bits, different
Yep.
characters. She's like Ernest P. Worrell.
Yep.
And then she's
This week on Fallout 76.
so I'm like, oh, Vanessa, I gotta go. And you're like, credits, Johnny. You got to credit.
Yeah, credits.
Thanks to WGP in Cincinnati and our producer.
That's
Mitch
the
Kellner.
stuff. Yes.
Sound editing.
Tell me what
by-
happened this week on Lake Wobegon.
And then sometimes she just asks me to like investigate true crimes during my free time so that I can tell her about them as we play Fallout, which is a lot of work for me.
Hey, at least I cut back on asking you to join cults and report back on their goings on.
Come on. I still get the Mormons at my door every week.
Well, I'm not the one who... Well, I guess I was. Never mind.
All right. Well, I guess I didn't have much of a level up other than not really digging Final Fantasy 16 so far. I'm still, you know what? I bet it'll click with me. I'm just trying to find like the next game that I can play when I'm not playing the Square Roots game. So I don't know, maybe a Persona 5 or a Xenoblade 3.
Persona 5 is going to last you the next 10 games. That game is long.
True. But it's almost getting old enough, like it's 4 more years and we could play it on the show.
We can play it on the show right now. Nobody's going to stop us. Rules ain't shit no more.
Oh, jeez.
It's true.
Dang it. All right. Well, how about we trundle? Is there any Matt Stupid Game this week?
Well, Matt's not here.
Matt is... I don't know if our listeners have noticed.
Oh, where is Matthew?
Matt is not here.
What happened to Matthew?
He's got, he's sick. Remember? He's sick.
Yeah.
Oh.
You remember what happened to Jim last week?
No.
Well, Matt caught that from Jim, and
Oh no.
now he's the one poking
He
a
says he's
hemorrhoid
a
back
sick
into his
boy.
butt.
Nose won't stop running. Will be a real nightmare to edit.
Can I tell you, I really wanted to say, better go catch it, when he said his nose won't stop running.
Oh! Where was Matthew was triangly okay with this boring ass game. It wasn't bad, it wasn't great, it was meh. That's his Lunar review.
Oh.
So, maybe we didn't miss that much. He didn't like it that much, is what I'm saying.
All right. Well, I guess I'll say what I'm roundly for and squarely against, since
we're
we're just
gonna wait.
skipping
We're
to
gonna
the
wait.
end.
All right. We got past Royce. And Royce didn't see...
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Should we do a hot gaming news real quick or no?
Do you have any?
It's a little. Isn't there a little bit of hot gaming news?
Is
Gamescom
there?
happening right now?
All right, there is. Okay, well, let's see. Hot gaming news. I'm going to punch that in while you talk about your first piece of hot gaming news.
I don't remember. Oh, they showed some first official stuff about that Fallout show, that Fallout TV show.
Ooh.
Just a few clips, I think, or some images, but sounds pretty neat.
Do we think it will be good, or do we think it will be bad?
I think it will be, like, fine. I feel like those Amazon originals are just fine.
Some other hot gaming news is that Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon will have a 5-hour-long director's cut.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Sweet,
you've
can't wait for
been
that.
waiting for a 5-hour-long Zack Snyder movie,
It's like
Wait,
Zack
not-
Snyder's Star Wars, right?
yeah,
Basically.
he wanted to do Star Wars, and then he pitched it, and they said no.
In the Rebel Moon trailer, people are just using lightsabers.
Yep.
It looks exactly like Star Wars.
BioWare laid off 50 developers, and nobody's happy about it.
Oh, yeah. And what does that mean for Dragon Age and Mass Effect?
Well, they say it's not going to have any effect because we're just making our studio more agile, is their quote. But then people are like, but you need developers to develop game. And they're like, no, no, no. Less employee, good. More
They can
profit.
be more agile.
Yeah, we can be agile.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess I shouldn't be so negative. It could be okay. I feel like recently, like a lot of people have been tightening the belts, and I don't want belts tightened. I want fat summer days, living high on the hog.
Mm-hmm.
That's the American dream.
That is the American dream.
The American dream.
Other hot gaming news.
Oh, there was a new trailer for, or some kind of showcase for Alan Wake 2, which is exciting, along with some other press about it. Like an interview with, is it John? Is his name Sam Lake, their CEO, the CEO of?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. There's an interview with him, which was neat. It talked about the development of the game. And how there's going to be lots of little ties to Control. So I'm excited. That's like the game I'm looking forward to the most for the remainder of the year is Alan Wake 2. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that the Remedy Connected Universe doesn't technically include Quantum Break or Max Payne. Wink, wink.
That is true.
Mm.
I wonder if Rockstar owns the rights to Max Payne now.
Yeah, I believe
did
they do.
Just...
Yeah, they bought.
I think they wholesale bought the character and everything.
Yeah. So they can do oblique references to both those games. Like they kind of did to Quantum Break. There's a little bit about it in Control, like a reference to one of the major characters. I don't want to spoil it because I think Vanessa would really like the story in Quantum Break and the very cheesy, like that's the game that has the 30-minute TV episodes in between levels
that are like
live action.
Like has name, they have name actors in them, but it's like they told them to act like they're on a soap opera. Lance Reddick is in it. That guy who played the Game of Thrones creep is in it.
I know one of Vanessa boyfriend's in it too. One of like the main it's got Dominic Monaghan, who we all know.
Sean Ashmore, who played Iceman in those X-Men movies.
Oh, interesting.
And Dominic Monaghan.
He's like the main character. Yeah, and Dominic Monaghan.
He's that kind of nerdy pushover that Vanessa goes for.
Yeah. I guess so. Mm-hmm. Sure.
The production quality is weirdly good, but it has like bad video game writing for dialogue.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of fun, actually.
Oh, and also they came up with a price and a name for, this is big-ish news, for that weird dumb handheld that Sony is making.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
The PlayStation Portal. Not portable. Okay. I didn't just slur saying portable.
Yeah, it sounded like you slurred saying portable.
It's the
I
PlayStation
will say the price point.
Portal. Ah!
The price point, though, isn't bad. It's what, like $200, $199, something like that. It's a
streaming box, and it can play, I think, streaming games if you have the PS Plus service or games directly off your PS5.
Can it switchify? Like connect to your television?
I don't know. That's
probably.
A good question.
But I don't know. That would be hard if you're streaming a game and then you're also casting at the same time. Mm-hmm. So Vanessa, are you asking because like maybe you could play your PS5 in like another room in the house?
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to do that, I'd just get another PS5.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and also Baldur's Gate 3 wasn't going to come to Xbox not 360, Xbox Series X and S this year because it was having problems with split screen, but Microsoft gave them a permission to not have split screen on Series S for now.
Yeah, that's dog shit because I have the Series S and I was thinking about picking that up on Xbox
and playing with your daughter.
On my PS5.
Who's going to split
Well,
screen?
no,
with you?
but like you could do. I don't know. I could just do it on my Xbox, and then that's where I imagine playing that game. But
yeah, but you can
Yeah.
still play it on your Series S. It's just not going to have the split screen.
Maybe he wanted to play 2 characters at once.
Is that right?
did you ask if I was going to play that game with my daughter?
Yeah.
Jalen, check out this
sit
bear.
down with Daddy.
What's wrong with playing games with your kid? People do that all the time.
Here
Baldur's
comes
Gate
the
3, where we're
bear.
just talking about how you can have sex with any clickable object.
Well, that's true. You could just turn off dicks.
I do that all the time. Speaking of
Oh!
having sex in video games, everyone's favorite TV show is about to be turned into a dating sim. That's right. Love is Blind is coming to your
Ooh.
app store. When you too can date people you can't see. Will you get the dud? Probably.
Or the chud.
I mean, if it's someone who's like willing to go on Love is Blind, then that's a person with particular
That's a person who's brave. Brave
yeah,
and
yeah.
honest.
I guess that's a person who's brave and honest and wants to live as their authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Like Vanessa.
If you had to go on a reality show, which reality show would you go on?
Taskmaster.
Cool.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
That's a game show.
What did you say? Talk show?
I said reality show.
Oh, reality. That is a game show is a reality show, isn't it?
No, surely
I'd say
not.
that certainly Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was influenced by the reality craze. Like they made it more than it felt like more than just like a $60,000 pyramid or whatever.
A reality show is its own genre, as is a game show.
Huh.
Well, I guess
Okay.
if Taskmaster doesn't work, I'd say RuPaul's Drag Race, which I'd be out first episode though, and I feel like that's a shame.
But so it's not. What makes that one not a game show? Because it's a contest with contestants,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a prize at the end. How is that not a game show?
Because in addition to being a contest, it has the same people over multiple episodes, and it's partially contest, partially interpersonal drama.
Like Taskmaster.
So I would say Jeopardy falls into that too. You can have champions on for more for whole arcs. Like,
there's
how
no-
is that not a reality
there's
show?
no-
You learn more about their lives as they go.
There's no Jeopardy
not.
Untucked where the same contestants are like having drinks in the back room, and one gets mad at the other one and calls them a bitch and
There
throws.
should be a green room cam on Jeopardy to see these people snipe at each other.
Yeah, they should go into the Jeopardy confessional.
That would be great.
If
Hot gaming news.
I could have a trivia. If I wanted to, I could have a trivia tutor, and I would have a trivia tutor. I could have a trivia. If I wanted a trivia tutor, I'd have one right now. But you couldn't have a trivia tutor because you're not that kind of girl. Bitch!
Snap!
Yeah.
All right, now I think we're ready to talk about the end of Lunar,
I
the
kind of want
story
to
of
talk
the
about
Silver Star.
more Jeopardy Untucked, but
Vanessa's looking up the specs on the new PlayStation Portal. She wants to know frame rates.
It
All the
bothers
tech
me that
details.
it's called PlayStation Portal because it's not a portal. Although I suppose you could say that all
Yeah, it's
video
a
games
portal
are a
to
portal
next level entertainment.
Wow, you really are in marketing.
wait. So is it
Do you have
PlayStation
to
PORTHOLE?
What?
PlayStation Portal.
PlayStation Portal?
P-O with an umlaut, HRTU with an umlaut double L.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
PlayStation Portal.
Can you play those like anywhere you have Wi-Fi though, or do you have to be like on your home Wi-Fi? Because
I don't
I remember
know.
the old PlayStation streaming experience. You
I didn't
still had
watch
to be
the
like in your
presentation.
house on the Wi-Fi.
Well, I
Neither.
remember with the Vita one, it didn't work when I was in the same room. Like it never worked for me.
Yeah, but you had to be on the same Wi-Fi though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if this will be the same. If it is, that sucks. And if it's not, I think the experience of it is still really gonna suck because I don't know if you guys have ever tried to stream a game from the PlayStation Network.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. I tried that Deception, the PS3 Deception game, like that trap making one, and it was so bad I couldn't really play it.
Yeah, that's been my experience with a few of the games that I've played on there. Some of them, like some of the older like PlayStation classics, like Legend of Dragoon, like those games work pretty good, but trying to play like an action game, it's poopy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so Zenobia,
Not good.
she has a dungeon. You remember last time we killed Royce and she didn't see it coming.
She didn't. She saw the opposite coming.
Mm-hmm. And this time, we got to go through a dungeon, and then, like, I guess the voice of Althena or Quark or someone's like, Alex, remember the order in which you met the dragons, and that will help you through this maze. But, spoiler alert, it doesn't!
No,
This
I know.
Thing is stupid. I didn't use a guide because it's like, well, it was white, red, blue, black. Okay, there's white. I'll go to that one. Yeah, that works. Red, I'll go to that one. That works. There's no black because there's different shades of blue. Was the dark blue black? Was this like cerulean aqua? Was that blue? What happened? What's wrong with this dungeon? Why it be?
It broke and it doesn't even work. Like the orders that they tell you have nothing to do with the order that you should go in.
Mm-hmm.
And I did have to use a guide for essentially the first time in this game to
I just
figure
didn't-
out
I
what I
just-
was supposed to do.
Guessed. I was like, okay, well, this one works and this one doesn't work.
Yeah.
It
I
worked
mean,
for
you
the first two, and then after that, I just had to kind of wing it.
Yeah, you can process of elimination it.
That's what I did. I had time. I understand if you didn't have that kind of time or willingness to spend the extra time. But otherwise,
I got frustrated because I was like, I'm remembering wrong. I must be remembering wrong. How can I be remembering wrong? Everyone knows I'm the most memorable of all.
Mhm.
But it wasn't me. It was an error in the game.
And this looks like a real, like, East kind of dungeon, like a goddessy temple, which makes sense because if you remember, we are in Althena's temple that did rise out of a mountain and start floating. And we flew in there with our dragon cat.
Dragon cat.
Who is now who could have stayed in dragon form to help us fight, but was like, I'm gonna float around and maybe heal you. Maybe.
Well, I think maybe he's a little too big in dragon form to get into the temple.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, it probably wouldn't fit in those teleporters and everything.
Yeah.
'Cause, they're bigoted about sizes.
Maybe could you be a medium size? Do you get to? Is it like a spectrum? You can pick a size between the small one and the big one.
No, it's only small and big. It's not like Breath of Fire where you can be all sorts of dragons. That was pretty fun.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was cool.
Yeah.
You could be a sort of dragon. What sort of dragon would you be?
I'd be that fat dragon from D&D hat.
Ember
He looked like
Shard?
he was having a good time.
I love Ember Shard.
Jim?
It'd be that invisible dragon from Pete's Dragon.
Ah, sweet.
Yeah.
That's a great dragon.
What about you, John?
Oh, I'm going to be Ember Shard. What about you, Vanessa?
Oh yeah, I mean Vanessa.
Guess I'll be Falcor.
Now, Falcor from Neverending Story,
Yeah.
but now basically is Falcor.
Now doesn't grant wishes.
Oh, that's true. But Nal looked real never-ending story when Nal got all
You
fluffy.
can look like a genie all you want. That doesn't make you a genie. I want to grant some wishes.
That's true. So you want to grant wishes? Do you think
Yeah.
you could grant wishes to yourself? Is that why you want to be a wish granting, or do you just like helping others?
Maybe my greatest wish is to grant your wish, Johnny. Or maybe I think if I grant enough wishes, I'll have enough love and goodwill built up that they will give me money and prizes.
Can you get me into a polyamorous relationship with like 5 wrestlers? Because that's kind of my main wish. I also like to make sure my family's okay.
Hold on, you can grant wishes, but you can't just give yourself the money and prizes you seek. You have to get them from a long con on a lot of people loving you for years on end.
Yep. I will grant your wish, Johnny, but they will all be featherweight wrestlers.
No, it's a real Wishmaster scenario.
I was a Wishmaster all along.
No.
Twist.
My lawyer should go fuck himself. Wish. Jim's favorite moment from any horror film.
It was, you know what? He does it.
Yeah, he does it.
Yeah, he does it. He fucks himself.
Yep.
Like to death.
Mm-hmm.
That was in a movie.
I don't
so
think
weird.
that would actually kill you.
Yeah, I don't think he was dead. I thought he was just being wheeled off to the hospital, like in a very
He was like all
comfortable-
contorted, like
Yeah.
his knees bent the other way.
Oh, I see.
I mean,
So he
I'm not
didn't
saying he
like.
wouldn't
yeah, like
he'll
it,
need some physiotherapy, but he wasn't necessarily dead.
He didn't
Okay.
employ an aid in order to fuck himself. He just
No.
used what God
No.
gave him.
no, the evil magic of the djinn
Mhm.
contorted his body.
Mhm.
You'd have to really there's no way. There's no way. Like,
You know what? Maybe we need to do a commentary. for Wishmaster 2, Evil Never Dies,
I think we do.
which is also called The Genie Goes to Prison for most of the movie.
Can we do a double commentary for Wishmaster 2 and The Lord of Illusions?
Are they similar?
Yes.
Which one has Scott Bakula?
That's Lord of Illusion, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we all know Vanessa loves a Scott Bakula.
We all know.
Wishmaster is Andrew Divoff,
Mm.
who was in Lost.
Oh,
Div off these nuts.
was that the guy with the eyelashes in Lost? Like he's got the very.
He was a Russian
No,
guy.
that's Nestor Carbonell.
Oh, I like the guy with the eyelashes in Lost.
Nestor Carbonell.
Sorry, I didn't know you had that one loaded, ready to go, Vanessa. When someone says the guy with eyelashes from Lost, Vanessa's like, I got you.
Yeah, I got you. I got this.
All right, so we get to the end of this dungeon through guides or trial and error, and you finally meet Zenobia again, and this time she's like, all right, you're gonna fight me, but first I want you to fight the real enemy, the doubt in yourself. And I don't actually want you to fight it, I want you to lose. So
Yeah.
go like succumb to your self-doubts.
Mm-hmm. Go
And-
into the doubt void.
And in the PlayStation Porthole version, there is a you're like on these like white floating steps, and it's like almost like a dots to a thought bubble, that which I guess makes sense thematically.
Mhm.
It floating in space, and your alternate self is on the other side of you. Well, not you, but like Kyle's alternate self is there, and Jessica, and they're all dealing with their own internal self-doubt, which I feel like we've seen in a lot of JRPGs. I feel like this scene has
Yeah.
happened before. Can you
It
name
definitely
another?
has.
Because I'm sure we've
Final
seen
Fantasy
this before.
7.
Secret of
Well,
Mana.
Cloud. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's at least 2. Listeners, if you can name any other ones where you fight your own self. Oh, Persona. Isn't that in one of those Personas?
Oh, that's like the Persona 4 Golden. That's like, or Persona 4.
The whole
that's like
thing.
the whole
You
plot
have
of
to
it.
do it over and over.
Mm-hmm. And it's a big epic moment where you confront yourself. Well, listeners, still write in and tell us if you can think of other JRPGs where you have to confront yourself. But this was an early one. You know, this is like 93 again. On Vanessa's version, it looked like they're on some kind of, hey, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is writing Offishul.
Official.
Mm-hmm.
I have too many toys probably on my couch for being an adult.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, this Magikarp pillow is actually really good at neck support.
Mm-hmm. So they all have to deal with their self-doubts. Let's go through them one by one with Alex being last. Kyle. Vanessa, what's Kyle's self-doubt?
Kyle's self-doubt was my favorite self-doubt.
Oh, also describe your background, because it seemed like a weird, trippy red background.
Yeah, my background, well, they're different. So first you get Jessica, and Jessica's like yellow. It sort of looks like static with a little bit of liquid effect in it.
Mm-hmm.
Just a big empty void. So first you get Jessica. I know you want to start with Kyle,
No,
but
that's fine.
Jessica's
Downtown
evil
Brown,
self-
that Kyle. Downtown
yeah,
Brown.
Downtown Brown Kyle. Jessica's like, hey, you suck. Like, you are a dumb tomboy. You can't do what anyone wants you to do. You're bad at being a woman. Is that about right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds right.
Mm-hmm. Then Kyle, my absolute favorite, Kyle's evil self is like, dude, you're just a fuckboy. Like, I'm a fuckboy, you're a fuckboy. All we want to do is be fuckboy and not be on this quest. I think actually the direct quote is, all we want to do is have fun and imbibe the sweet nectar of womankind.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love that that song. Who is it that sings that again? All I want to do is have some fun and imbibe the sweet nectar of all of womankind.
Yeah, that was Show Kyle.
Yeah, Sheryl Kyle. Yeah.
And so let's get back to Nanza, where we can eat, drink, and be disgustingly promiscuous.
Yay!
And then Kyle admits, yeah, I did kind of used to want to just like fuck around and be a fuckboy, but now I know that sometimes you have to be serious too. And that's how he overcomes that. Nash is having his same Nash issues that he's been having the whole game. Evil Nash is like, hey, Evil Nash, or I mean, Good Nash, there's no way that we can beat this Galleon guy. We gotta go be his apprentice again. And Nash is like, no, we just did that last chunker, and we're not gonna do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And finally you have Mia, and Mia's like, you're not good enough to be the head of the Magic Guild. And Mia's like, screw you, yes I am.
I'm just a girl. Tee hee hee.
Wee hee hee hee. So they all snap out of it pretty quickly. And they return, I guess, to the real world. And Snowy's like, yeah, but where's Alex? And they all express their faith that Alex is going to show up eventually.
Aww.
Then smash cut to Dark Alex. Dark Alex is like, yo, Luna's dead. And she's the goddess now. And Luna is heckin' dead. And unlike with everyone else, Luna is there as well. And you can either go towards Luna or not, I guess. But I don't think there's a way to go forward in the game unless you approach Luna. And Alex just shouts a whole bunch about how he's going to save Luna, like he always does.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't seem to have gone through a lot of character growth.
What do you mean? He has a hat. He has
That's
some
true.
A
A shield.
He has a ring. He has a shield. And
He's
has
got
a
safari
sword.
flap.
Yeah. If that's not character growth, I don't know what is.
That's true. So he, with that, I guess it breaks the spell. Except that I did like that everyone else comes back and Zenobia's like, oh, it looks like the Dragon Master has Saul beaten his true self. And they're like, just give me a sec. Why didn't she attack them then? She like let this all play out. She could have attacked them like as they appeared one by one and she would have killed them. She didn't think this through. No,
yeah. I mean, maybe it took a lot of her own energy to project the dark dudes or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So fight. So Alex comes back. He's like, psych, I'm good. Yeah.
I was fine all along.
Wait, you can make it working design style writing and be like, I guess I'm giving in to my doubts after all. Not.
Oh, yeah.
Got
That's
him.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Zenobia's
Pauly
like,
Shore
what?
says wheeze in the juice.
So you finally fight Zenobia, and it's not a tough fight.
No, it's not. She has a few special attacks like a lot of the bosses do at this point in the game, but they do telegraph that they're going to do it, so you can just choose to block.
I finally noticed that since you told me this last time. So yeah, I forgot you can block in this game, but anytime they did that, I just used Dragon Guard, or if I had it, Mia's thing, her mist form, mist jail. Mist thing.
I feel like I never got Mist Jail. I don't know if that's
you
just
never.
in your version.
No, it's only in my version. You don't have limit breaks. You don't have that.
Oh,
meter.
terrible!
I know.
I wish it did. I guess it's nil plot because the game is over and I beat it, so I didn't need it in the long run.
So she's real upset. She's like, "How could this be? Galleon, how could you defeat me? I have Galleon's power, and Galleon can't be defeated. Could you possibly be able to defeat Galleon? I don't know." And then she just falls dead and disappears.
Yeah. And they're all sort of like, it sounded like she was like really hot for Galleon.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel kind of sorry for her.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Galleon, I think, is pretty singly focused on Mia. I mean, Luna.
No, Luna, yeah. He had a thing for Althena. I mean, they directly say this in the next little bit, but first you got to go through his like staircase, his space staircase. As it is a JRPG, it's gotta be like space. It gotta be out in space.
You gotta go to space.
In your version, were you out in space? Was lots of stairs through space?
It was lots of stairs through space. I would argue that maybe this whole game has been in space, though, because it is a moon game when you're on the moon.
Well, why aren't planets space as well?
Maybe they are, Johnny.
We're always in space. We just forget about it sometimes.
We're always in space and we forget about it.
John and I are just calling Vanessa out on all of her half-baked ideas tonight.
Yeah!
Feels good. Finally
terrible.
stick it to old know-it-all Vanessa.
Oh.
What did I say to you the other night? It was about the hurricane, and you're like, I haven't seen this. I'm gonna check, and you're like, it was only a 5.1, and I was like, let them have their hurricane, Vanessa.
And it was a tropical storm at that point, so it was more of a tropotremor.
It was a
Oh my
tremor.
gosh. Just let them have it. It's Los Angeles. They need the attention.
There's no movies being made right now. They gotta have something.
Yeah. All right. They can have their hurricane. Hurricane sounds like hurricane and tropotremor sound like mixed drinks that you would get at a milkshake bar, like one of those fancy milkshake bars. Like the hurricane is like a rocky road kind of thing, and the tropotremor
it's like an
is
ice
more
cream
of a
flavor
smoothie.
at where I used to work.
Yeah.
Jim did post a picture of was it cyclone and earthquake from the natural disasters?
Oh yeah, I put that in the group chat. Yeah.
And oh man, cyclone when he was tugboat. even with that mullet, he was so hot. He got the biggest arms. That guy was enormous. He was so strong. He could just lift me up. But unfortunate mullet. You know what you gonna do. Anyway, so we then we get to the top of Space Dungeon and outer space, and at the top, Galleon's there, and he's like, "Yo, sup? It's me, Galleon. This is my pad." Well, it's Althena's pad, but I'm just like couch surfing here.
He says that he is going to. He's basically like, Althena is like totally into me now, and she's gonna do whatever I say. And I'm gonna be God, and she's just gonna be my lady.
I like the music here. It did make me want to make dramatic speeches. So as I had the music like blaring on my stereo, I did send like Telegram voice messages to all my friends telling them evil villain things, and then I put one on the Facebook group as well.
What is Telegram?
Telegram is like a WhatsApp. But,
okay.
Yeah, just an encrypted DM service. That's all.
It's WhatsApp for Canadians.
No, it's Russian, I think.
Or like a signal? Kind of like a signal?
It's not Russian government. Yeah, it's like a signal. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think very
like
specifically, it's no, it's for anyone.
It's like RCS where it's end-to-end encrypted, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I use too. But I use the Google version of that.
It is, I think one of the reasons was due to like Putin and stuff that it was made, like to avoid being monitored by
Yeah,
Putin.
I think you're right.
But anytime even with these encrypted services, don't rely on it being private. Like even if you go to like super private mode, just assume that, who knows who could read it.
Yeah. Anyone can read
anything
anything
also use
at
a
any
VPN
time.
if you can.
Yeah, you could. I don't know how. And people keep saying that I should use one.
It's not hard once you get it.
You should use a VPN if you can, yeah.
Ooh,
If you pay, I
Oswald
use the
is
Google
looking
VPN.
in the frame. Hi, Oswald, the lucky
Hi,
rabbit.
Johnny.
Yeah, you're a cute character design. I like it.
Me too.
I think Vanessa has Disney fever.
Yeah,
I do have Disney fever.
DG.
She bought a Disney plush. She's planning a trip to Disney.
Mm-hmm.
She got her
She loves
Jedi
DP.
cosplay.
Disney parks.
I love DP. I love DPP, Disney Parks Planning.
Oh, and you're watching all those Star Wars shows.
And I'm watching all the Star Wars shows to make sure that my Star Wars outfit that I'm going to wear to Star Wars Land is Star Wars.
It's gonna be period appropriate.
It's going to be period appropriate. I need to know the lore.
Yeah, and you don't want to
Period appropriate,
culturally
mean
appropriate.
not white.
Yeah.
Oh!
You joke, but I'm
I
not
just got
wearing
hired
white
by
pants
Working
to a Disney
Designs.
park.
Vanessa's practicing her Gungan face.
I'm trying.
Her
Yeah,
Gungan makeup.
I'm practicing my Gungan tongue. Wow. I can't do that like cheek bubbly thing. My cheeks are too tight.
Me either.
I saw your Jedi pouch. That looked real cool.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have are you gonna wear like Jedi robes?
No, but I did get a it's sort of it's a wrap or like a shawl, and it has one part that you just tuck up on the shoulder, so it forms kind of like a half poncho sort of thing.
Oh, like a Cal Kestis wears.
Like Cal Kestis wears, so I'm gonna have
Oh.
that. I have a wrap shirt with like 3/4 length kimono sleeve type things.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to wear some just plain pants. And I am going to wear comfortable shoes because I'm sorry. I know it breaks the illusion a little bit, but I'm going to be on my feet all day.
What do the Jedi wear for shoes?
Boots.
Hmm.
I'm going to
That's
wear tennis shoes. And I have a sling bag that is the same color as my shawl. So I'll have that. And then I also have the pouch bag, which can be worn around the waist, or it can be worn crossbody. And I'll determine which one looks best.
Have you heard about this thing that some DP lovers are doing where they're on the Tower of Terror and they want to do that? Where's it? The Haunted Mansion. They want to do the spiel before the ride starts, and they're like saying it at the same time as the characters are. That sucks. Why
that
would they
sounds
do
irritating.
that? Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, no one's impressed that you can memorize 5 lines.
Mm-hmm. People aren't here. They aren't paying to see you.
I'm not paying to see you. I'm paying to see Cal Kestis and Rey Skywalker and Kylo Ren and all of my Star Wars friends.
Do you think Cal Kestis will show up on Ahsoka? I think he might.
Oh,
that would be pretty
interesting.
awesome. You know what? I think Cal Kestis actually rules pretty hard.
I didn't like him at the start. You know, he's petulant at the start of Jedi Survivor or Fallen Order.
He is. He has his
Fallen
whiny
Order.
moments. Yeah.
But
John,
he
you
has a good
should
arc.
play the new one.
I will.
You should
when
play
my
the new one.
PC comes back.
Oh yeah, it is a legitimately great Star Wars story, and makes Cal even better, I think, and introduces I think every character that they bring in are great. They're
Even
all
is
great.
Green. What's his name? The fun puppet one, the one who looks like a Muppet.
That's
The
Yoda.
pilot guy.
Yeah.
No, he's a
Yoda.
pilot
Green
guy.
or-
Yoda.
His name is Grease.
No, he's
Grease.
green and his name is Yoda.
Yeah, Grease.
Vanessa,
Grease is back.
You should set this game to story mode and play it because it's got a good Star Wars story. Like
I never
genuinely.
finished the first one, but yeah, I
That's
guess
what I
Yeah.
mean. I'm talking about the first.
It gives a lot of color to what the Empire's up to. You get to spend a lot of time on cool planets like Kashyyyk and
I think
Dathomir.
It does a good job of making Darth Vader menacing without making him Rogue One-y. He's not doing.
It makes
Yoda
it, John.
flips.
They have a moment like that in the second one that is, I think, even better.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Well,
and it
yeah, maybe
links back to the. Sorry, you go ahead.
because I do have Star Wars fever, maybe I will check it out. If he does show up on Ashoka, who do you think they'll cast to play live action Cal Kestis?
I think. Well, they'd probably have to sprinkle some cinnamon on his face to make him have the beard, or some kind of. I don't know. He doesn't seem like he could grow
No,
a beard.
In the new Star Wars game, you can customize his facial hair. Give him a full beard. Give him a Fu Manchu.
Ooh.
Fully customizable facial hair.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to unlock it.
I haven't
Shave
played-
boy.
And I love
But his name is Cameron Monaghan.
Yes.
I think he was in that Gotham show.
Yeah, he
that,
was
in Gotham.
Vanessa
Yeah,
liked.
he was
Was
good.
he Riddler or Joker? Who was he?
He was sort of Joker, but not necessarily really.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I always get him mixed up with what's his face? Will Poulter.
Yes, me too.
For some
yeah,
reason,
yeah.
he and Will Poulter are interchangeable in my mind.
I can see
is
that.
Will Poulter in Quantum Break?
No, Will Poulter was in Little Hope.
Oh, that's right. They look a lot
Yeah,
alike.
that game's. They do look a lot alike.
Yeah. Well, you get Galleon's like, I guess there's not much left to do, Dragon Boy, other than we gotta fight. You know, I'm gonna use her power to take control of the planet because everything's going to crap and she's not doing enough and everyone needs someone to tell them what to do. And I'm so smart and cool and good that I am the right choice for it. Like, he thinks he's the hero in this version, even though his dungeon does have organ music and it's very dramatic. If you build a dungeon and people are coming through it and they hear organ music, I feel like at that moment you should question whether or not you're actually the good guy. It's very dramatic.
Yeah. I didn't really question it, though, because
In your
this guy
dungeon?
sucks.
Oh. But I mean, if you built a dungeon, you in particular, but when the hero or villains that are coming to kill you go through the dungeon, they hear like climactic organ music. You should be like, am I doing the right thing? Am I the villain?
No. I would think that means the villain's approaching.
Oh, but is there ever a story about villains approaching? I guess The Last Jedi is the only story I know about villains approaching.
What about Final Fantasy X, where you have like 3 fights with Seymour where you're just walking along and then he's like, ta-da, Seymour!
Oh, and the little guy with the knife. He's about that's about villains approaching.
Oh, I don't think that Tom Berry's a villain.
I think in the more recent Final Fantasy stuff, they explicitly state he is a murderous little turtle man. Like, he is 100% a villain.
He's just like an animal. He's like just a little animal.
But he's stabs you to death with with a kitchen knife. That's the same way Michael Myers kills people.
Yeah, exactly. Or
all of those
Scream
animals
guy.
stab you to death, like Cactuar.
Ghostface.
Ghostface.
I feel like Cactuar is in self-defense. Like, Cactuar is just reacting.
He's just dancing.
But Tonberry like acts with murderous intent.
You think Tom Berry like gets up in the morning, puts on his little robe, lights his lamp, grabs it, picks up his knife, and he's like, I'm gonna go walk around and find some heroes to stab.
Oh, Vanessa,
he's looking for prey because he's a predator.
Have you heard about in Baldur's Gate 3? I don't want to spoil this for Jim when he's playing it with his daughter, but there is... She's old enough. She's like 14.
She's not.
Come watch Daddy make romance this tree stump.
Come watch Daddy make sweet love to this elven maid.
So,
I'm going to choose the gentle option.
Oh, God.
Jay, I
Vanessa,
need to introduce you to someone. This is Iron Ball, and he's very special to me.
He's my dom. That's a different
I have to
game.
mash the buttons even though it doesn't say.
So, Vanessa.
Yeah.
In Baldur's Gate 3, there is one personality background, I guess you can choose, that makes you an insane ball psychopath. Like, ball is kind of part of your, like a big part of your brain. So, like, all the narration, instead of being normal, is like, why you should murder everybody.
Hey, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of playing as a Machiavellian in Vampire the Masquerade, pulling bloodlines.
Exactly. I thought you would get a kick out of that.
I do.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to Galleon. So we do a Galleon fight, and what I like is it's very similar to the unbeatable fight you had last time, but you're stronger this time. And you can use all your mist forms and your Dragon Guard and all that. And Dragon Guard and mist form basically do the same thing, so I don't know why that guy in that FAQ was complaining about the mist thing, because Mist Guard or whatever it's called, because Alex has a spell that does the exact same thing, and I gave Alex the ring that reduces MP consumption by half, so I could use it all the time. Is that cheating? I don't think so. I think it's just being smart.
It's not cheating when Alex does it, because he's the dragon master and he can do all the magic spells, but then they nerfed it and they gave the big magic spell to the girl, and that's not how you play the game.
So, how did you find the final fight against Galleon?
Boring and too long.
He does have quite a lot of hit points.
He has a lot of hit points. He just does the same things over and over and over again. He does lava ball attack, where he drops a ball of lava on you. He does...
Ouch.
Yeah, it's ouchy. He does a melee attack, where I think he has like 2 hits, but they're pretty sizable. So he'll whack
Oh
two
man,
different
two in a
characters.
row?
Yeah,
That's
two in a
Well,
row.
he has 2 different attacks in a row too, so he could do the 2 melee hits and lava ball. Or
Yeah.
if the game's
Oh man,
being,
you know what?
yeah,
I was playing Chained Echoes,
Mhm.
and I found this like this optional boss that I was gonna kill, and then it cast a spell on itself that let him get 2 turns for every one of my turns, and I was like, this feels like a bullshit spell.
Yeah.
Galleon
That's not
also
fair.
has the same spell as Alex and Mia. He is called Chaos Shield, and I don't know how long it lasted. It seemed to last a long time, where he was completely invulnerable, and so you just had to not attack during that part.
And he has one that's like an instant death that he'll do on a random character.
That one sucks too.
Yeah, they all suck. So basically, I was out of like all of my silver lights and everything by the time I beat him. So I guess it was a well-balanced boss fight from that perspective, if that's the kind of gameplay you're looking for. Like, whew, got through by the skin of my teeth. But my attitude towards it was, if I die in this, I'm just going to watch a cutscene of the end. So the stakes were really low for me.
I did get a couple of characters dead during this fight, but I didn't lose it. So that was good. I got, Jessica and Nash both died. And Kyle was like at 10 hit points. Because, if he gets those 2 all ally attacks in a row, that can be really devastating because I don't have that many hit points. And it can take a lot of them really down, unless you're using Dragon Guard and stuff. But then if you're using Dragon Guard, it only lasts 1 turn, unlike Mist Guard, which lasts 2. And Alex doesn't get his like super swordy attack, so you're doing a lot less damage.
Yeah, and it takes up a lot of magic points to do Alex's thing.
Unless you find that ring. Which I did. Because I followed the guide.
I didn't find the ring.
You have to go back to like Damon's Tower from 8 chunkers ago and go back to the top, and he just gives it to you.
Oh.
That's how you get it.
I won't.
All right. So after you defeat him, there's what I would call an echo, like a mirror, like it rhymes with an earlier part of the game, where they're like, all right, we defeated Galleon. Now go go rescue Luna. Everything's great. It's playing the happy music again.
Uh-huh.
I feel like Alex is not learning.
No, he's definitely not.
She's still got the red eyes and black lipstick. She's up there, even with him defeated. She's still an evil goddess.
I respect that he respects her right to wear black lipstick if she wants to.
It is super hot. Jim, how do you feel about when a lady starts wearing black lipstick?
It's very 2007. I watched the movie Whip It last night. The Drew Barrymore directed, like, what do you call it? Roller derby movie that was like super alternative.
I watched
back from like 2009.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters.
I watched it for the first time like last night, and it was so tropey about like that kind of sad, mopey, emo subculture that was like, watching it now, it was kind of painful to watch because I know a lot of people who are exactly like that.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
One of my favorite student films that I ever saw was a very talented classmate of mine in film school made. And I just realized now what it implied now that I'm thinking about it. Because it was, I forget what it's called. It's like Dial-A-Dom or something like that. Like this guy was having problems doing household things and he dials a dom, and then like this large lady in leather, like a full S&M leather gear and black lipstick comes in and it's like, do this correctly. And he does it. And so that was sort of the service that it provides, is the dom gives him motivation to do things correctly. And she's always there, like ordering him around. And it was just a funny, cute,
that's interesting
student film.
It's like you have a positive influence in your life.
Well,
like a life coach.
That's what a good dom is supposed to do. Anyway, so, and it was his wife, and I realized later, like I was thinking about this yesterday or today. I was like, wait a minute, His wife had that outfit already, didn't she? I don't think they bought it special for Dial-A-Dom.
If they did, they can write it off as a tax expense.
That's true. Oh, it had a better name than Dial-A-Dom, and I can't remember what it was, and I'll have to ask.
This is a segment where Vanessa, as a licensed CPA, will give tax advice to our listeners.
Mm-hmm. Like how your
Certified?
Bad Dragon purchases can be tax deductible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Generally, if you're going to wear an outfit for a show or a movie that you want to keep afterwards, it can't be something that you would wear in normal life.
Like a Dom outfit. You're not going to... She's not going to wear that. Mhm.
No, it's useless.
What happens if you had... a Bad Dragon dildo that you were reviewing for your for-profit YouTube business? Is that tax deductible?
Yeah.
Would you be able to keep it afterwards?
You can't resell it, Johnny.
Yeah, you can. Just boil it.
Oh, yeah.
It's true. That's how you...
I know it's
Clean.
true, but no. Mm-mm.
All right. Anyway.
That's
so,
why I only date virgin boys.
the name, I will find out. I'm still Facebook friends with some of my friends from college. I will find out what the name, it wasn't Dial-A-Dom, it was something even better, and I can't remember what it was, but I will find out for you listeners. Remind me to look in on what that movie was actually called, because it was something great, and I can't remember. Anyway. So, we defeat Galleon, and Alex is very happy to run up and embrace... Well, first he talks to all his friends, because they have 2 lines each to say about the situation.
Yep.
You know, it's Lunar, and you gotta do that.
Yeah.
Then you run up the space stairs to your goddess girlfriend, except something weird happens, where she's like, "Do not!" And she starts shooting Alex with lightning bolts.
Yeah, she has green lightning bolts, and she's like, kazap, kazap, kazap.
Mm-hmm.
And then your friends are like, Alex, you have to remind her of who you are. You
Mhm.
can do it, Alex. And I'll admit it, I died here. I did not understand what this game wanted me to do.
Wait, what did the game want you to do?
The game wanted me to go up the stairs and play my stupid ocarina.
What? I didn't do that.
What? You didn't?
No. It played itself eventually in the cutscene. Did it? No, it didn't. I just had to keep walking up the stairs. I checked my health and it was fine, so I just kept going. I didn't have the option. What?
Yeah, the first
What?
time I was walking up the stairs, I made it halfway up and then he died.
Oh.
Did it time out?
No, he was zapped by the green lightning and died.
Wow.
So then the second time I kept going into the
Wait,
ocarina, making it play
did you get an
random
ending?
music.
Yeah, she got
when
I
you-
saw her screenshot the ending, so she must have...
Yeah. No, I saved after the Galleon fight. You can save.
Okay.
No, but
Yeah.
if you die, do you get a bummer ending?
No. Well, sort of.
Oh.
He died, and then his friends were like, you were supposed to remind her of who you were, not just die.
Oh, shit.
I didn't do that at all. That's so weird.
I mean,
obviously
maybe
we're
I-
playing different versions.
Maybe I didn't have to be doing it, and I just, went slower up the staircase because I kept going into the
I don't
stupid
know.
ocarina menu and making it play, a random song.
Huh. Is there an ocarina menu in my version? I don't
Yeah,
think there is.
When I go
don't
into
think
my
so, John.
inventory and I click on the
Yeah.
ocarina, it gives me the option to play any of the songs that I've encountered in the game thus far.
Weird.
So,
Huh.
he's
John, do
like-
you remember encountering other ocarina songs?
Well, he plays a few of them, but I never had to do it from a menu.
Yeah, me either.
So he's inching up the stairs, inching. Basically, every time she said something, I would play the ocarina again and then get a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further. Then when I was finally near the very tippy top, she's like, not. And then I played the ocarina, take a step forward. 1, play the ocarina, take a step forward. More, play the ocarina, take a step forward. Step. And then they have a conversation.
And it turns to an anime cutscene where she's like, no, Alex, no. And he walks through like the force field and is inside there. And she's like, you'll lose your dragon power. And he's like, I don't care. And all his awful clothes and dragon master stuff disappears. And he hugs her. And she's like, but you'll lose your power and the world will be over. And he's like, I don't think so. The world doesn't need a goddess. It needs you in it.
Aww.
Yeah.
And
And
then
I need you in it too.
Wasn't that Dine's whole thing too with the original?
Yes.
The original thing, yeah.
Well, that's what she
And-
wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So Gallium was really
Yeah,
taking
that's
away her
right.
agency.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, they can't. Everyone else can't see what's happening inside the shield that he's passed through, but her castle's starting to collapse, and they're like, "We got to get out of here!" And they're like, and Nal's like, "Come on, fly away with me!" And they're like, "No, Nal, we can't because Alex is still up there." And Nal's like, "Yeah, but trust me, Alex will be fine. You have to trust me. Get on my big fluffy back." And they all get on Nal's big fluffy back and fly out of the collapsing final dungeon.
Mm-hmm. And then we get sort of a scene of like all the magic returning to the world. And
Mhm.
I think we also see Earth restored.
It sure looks greener, right? Like it looks
Yeah.
better than it did.
I felt like it restored not only the moon, but the planet that they'd come from as well.
And even the Vile Tribe dark side of the moon, which as Vanessa and I both know isn't dark like, it just means dark like unknown because it's geolocked, not dark like it
Right,
gets light.
right.
Obviously,
Mhm, mhm.
Vanessa and I know that for
Yep.
sure. We're very good at astronomy.
We're very good at astronomy. We're very good at geography. We're
Mhm.
very good at physics, and we're very good at math.
Yeah. And so everyone else is like, they see the castle explode in a big shower, and they're like, oh, but Alex. But then floating down in a ridiculous pose is Alex and Luna in full "we saw you across the bar," like Alex with his arm around Luna, and they're like, yeah, we're glowing now. We're
Mhm.
floating, we're glowing, we saw you across the bar. We
Yeah,
dig your vibe.
Luna's wrapped in her sheet, so I guess
Mm-hmm.
they found a bed, and, she just has a sheet on now.
Mhm.
And everyone's very happy to see them. It sort of does that Japanese game thing where they just like look at each other with tears in their eyes, and they're like,
And
"We're
gasp.
so happy to see you."
There's a lot of
And then, yeah,
Ah.
whoa. And then
Nani?
eventually, the girls all hug each other. So at least there was some kind of physical contact there.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys, being men, just look at each other like, "Hey, yay."
Cut to a few weeks later. They're in the
I
town of
liked
Maribia.
this very much, Johnny.
Mm-hmm. I believe
please
this was
continue.
not in the Sega CD version.
Oh, no, but this was the best part. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. You arrive in Maribia, and Jessica's like, well, since we defeated Zenobia, her magic should be gone, so I'm going to go see if my dad's okay. And she runs off. I guess it wasn't 2 weeks later. It must have been pretty soon after. And then Nash and Mia are like, well, I got to go talk to my mom. Nash, you coming with? Sorry. And Luna or Jessica suggest that they go see Ramus and see what his shop is up to. And so you got a few options here.
Mm-hmm. I first went to see what was up with Jessica and Kyle.
Mhm.
And just Kyle seems to sort of want to run away, but Jessica's not having that.
Mhm.
So he follows her to the home of her father, who is destoned,
Mhm.
and her father is happy to see her. He embraces her, and then he's like, "Is that Kyle back there? You better come forward."
I did like
Kyle."
that his little sprite ran behind all the other
Yeah.
guys.
He's like, "Oh no." And as it turns out, he gives Kyle his blessing to, I guess, date his daughter. And then Kyle's like, "Thanks, Pops." And he's like, "You better make it official before you start calling me Dad."
Mhm.
But essentially, I
Sounds
believe...
like it's like sitcom jokes.
Yep,
Mhm.
it was super sitcom jokes. And now they are betrothed.
Aw.
Yeah. And Big Hunky Dad is back. Stretch. I love the PSP version's depiction of him. Like, it fills the screen, and all his beef is just like
Yeah.
really stretching his shirt. Oof. Yeah. If you go talk to Lamia and Mia and Nash, there's a little scene of them, and they are. Lamia's like, "Let me once again remind you, you did keep siding with the villain, and that's bad. So you're still gonna have to like show me you're cool before I let you date my daughter. But also, you're gonna have to run."
Doesn't she say she's pretty harsh about it though? Isn't
Yeah.
she? Isn't she like she's like I refuse to ever trust him ever again?
Yeah.
At this point, she's a little more relaxed than she was.
But, I mean,
before.
fair enough. He did work for the dude who Man in the Iron masked her.
Yeah, I can see why
Yeah.
that's a problem.
And then after that happened, he was like, "Oh no, I think Galleon's pretty cool."
Mhm.
And then he tried to kill you in that mech suit.
Yeah. But he didn't want to. He was being remote controlled.
That's true. But he did
But
want to
he
at
still got
first.
in the mech
He
suit.
did
Yeah.
zap them with lightning himself before Mia slapped him and left that hand imprint on his face. I think he should have had that hand imprint for the rest of the game.
That would have been pretty amazing.
That would have been pretty great, yeah.
So then there's a scene with Fascia, if you get near the city gates, where she's not dead. We all thought she got killed by her sisters, but she's like, "I'm going to lead the Vile Tribe, and you know what? Fuck this place. We're going to go to the Blue Star, where things are better. We're leaving
Vanessa,
the moon."
did you get this part?
No.
This is one of the big differences in the ports, I believe, is
Whoa.
that in Silver Star Harmony you get the little Fascia epilogue part, and in the Silver Star Complete or Silver Story you do not.
Ah.
Yeah. I didn't get
It seems to
I
be
get any
setting
of
up
this.
for a sequel.
Yeah.
It's like,
I believe this is setting up for the next Lunar Eternal Blue.
yeah, which never came out on PSP, or maybe it did in Japan, and we didn't get a localized.
I don't know.
version.
Yeah, I don't think it did in the state, or in like over here.
But we can't. There is still I was so mad because I wanted that game on Sega CD so bad. It sold in such small quantities, I could never find it at any store, and I was really bummed about that.
Yeah, it seemed like not soon after that game launched, it was kind of like one of those, this is going to be hard to find
Yeah.
kind of games. Where like it didn't get a wide distribution, but the people who did play it really liked it.
Yeah.
So it just became really hard to
And
find.
it kind of did the same thing with the sequel on PS1 as well, because it was like, I think the PS2 was already out by the time it came out on PS1. So it was a really late
Oh,
PS1
that's right.
game.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of like JRPGs in the 90s were trying to make Lunar a thing. You know what I mean? Like it was like a really intense IP for a few years, and then it just kind of petered out.
Oh, that's why it keeps rebooting. Like there's 7
Yeah,
different
well, and
versions
they've
of
released
Lunar 1.
there's so many versions of Lunar like we're talking about now. Like they just kept trying to make it a thing, and it just never really caught on the way they wanted it to.
Stop
Yeah.
trying to make Lunar happen.
Exactly.
Well, so you're setting up the Vile Tribes going to the Blue Planet, and then the last one is that you can go well, not the last one, but you can go to Rames's store, and he's there, and I didn't get he's supposed to give you extra pornography, but I think that's only if you got every single bromide, and I must have missed a bromide or two.
See,
what else does he give you? Is it a picture of his butt?
He gave me one of Luna and one of Jessica, I think, but there's supposed to be more, and I didn't get them.
Yeah, that's what he gave me, and this was the first time I had been able to get bromides from him.
It said you know what it was? It said in the guide I was reading that you could buy extra ones from him, and I couldn't. So I don't know what I just didn't.
Yeah.
You know, John, I experienced the same thing in the guide I was reading. It was like, hey, go talk to Rames because you can buy a new bromide now, and it just never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I wonder what that bromide that we never got to see is.
I mean, I got the Fascia bromide, the Royce bromide, and the Zenobia bromide, but I must have missed some other ones.
Interesting. I feel like this game missed two really big opportunities. The first one is to have the final bromide be of Rames himself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been really great.
Mm-hmm.
And two, this game should have ended in like a dance style kind.
Yeah, there's no final song. It's a musical.
I know
game.
There should have been. You know what it should have been, and I say this because this song came up on my Spotify playlist earlier today, was Dancing in the Moonlight, which is an amazing song and super relevant to Lunar. How great would it have been to see our characters jamming to Dancing in the Moonlight?
Moon. It could have been that song. It could have been Fly Me to the Moon.
But I was thinking like a Bollywood-style dance number.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should I had an idea for next year. I was thinking of next year, 2024. Is this even an RPG where we don't play any RPGs?
None?
I love that idea. Or like we play like every game is an RPG anymore. Like every third person game is an RPG now. So
all we have to do is
define,
be like, oh, but there's leveling mechanics, so
we could play Forspoken. And
except
it would be
of
terrible.
Course for Vanessa's game BioJanuary.
BioWary is sacred.
Probably going to be definitely going to be Starfield.
Oh,
right?
That's an interesting choice.
But that's not a Bio.
It's not a BioWare game.
Oh, it's not. No, it's not. It's the other company.
I think what's due for BioWare is Dragon Age Inquisition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that game. That's like the first PS4 game I ever played.
It's a great game.
I bought it day one. I went to the store and bought a copy of it.
Day one purchase.
I loved it. Well, I guess that... so we haven't quite finished. I know you can go to the bar. Was there a special scene in the bar? I feel like there was, but I can't remember what it would be.
I didn't see a special scene, but I did talk to some drunk people who congratulated me on my victory. I tried to go around and talk to everyone to be congratulated, but I ran out of steam.
Yeah, there's like
what's that one game that we played where the good ending is you walking through a reception for your player character where everyone's applauding you.
Enchanted City? The Eternal City? The something city.
Vanessa, what was that game called?
Forgotten City.
Forgotten City.
Yes, thank you. I love that ending where everyone's just like, what a great job.
I loved it. It honestly made me tear up.
Because everyone's saying nice things about me.
That game rocks.
It does rock.
It's a good game. I really liked it. So yeah, you can talk to everybody in town. Eventually, you go talk to Leica. And Leica's like, don't call me Dine. Don't dead name me. I'm Leica now. Dine is dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to explore. We have this amazing world to explore, and I'm going to explore it. What are you kids going to do? And we're like, we're going to go back to our hometown because we can afford a house there. Unlike in Maribia, where you have to be a renter and have roommates.
Their friend probably is buying up, in addition to that store that he conned that guy out of, all of the housing. And
he did say he was going to buy he's going to buy every store in Maribia. That was his goal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he did want you to tell his dad and nanny how how amazing he's doing.
They're not going to believe him.
Nope.
Anytime you tell his dad how well he's doing, his dad's like, yeah, I doubt it.
And Lyke is like, well, you gonna take the orca back to Berg? And you're like, yeah. And then you get credits, and there's like a little scene at the end of Alex and Luna holding hands looking up at the Earth, which does seem to indicate again,
that was pretty neat.
That the Earth is going to be a big part of the next game.
It's time to go back to Earth.
John, is it in the next game where they explain what happened to Earth in the first place?
I've never played the second one. I don't know.
I would like to know that.
I want to play the second one. But I think I'd probably
what can you even play it on?
PS1.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on PS1?
Yeah, and Sega CD. I mean, either of those.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's it for Lunar. Lunar, not Eternal Lunar, that's the next one.
Not Eternal Blue.
Lunar Silver Star.
Silver Star Harmony for us.
Or Silver Star Story Touch Complete.
Story Complete.
Yeah. Vanessa, what are you roundly for? We know where Matthew sits on this. He's triangularly nonplussed. But what about you? Are you roundly for or squarely against Lunar?
I guess overall, I would have to say that I am roundly for Lunar. There was nothing wrong with it except for the sexism and dated jokes, but it played fine. Its plot was what I might consider cliche, but I know it came out pretty early in the world of JRPGs, so maybe it wasn't as cliched at the time. And I liked the characters. Except for Alex, who was kind of a nothing burger. But yeah, I'll give it a roundly 4 overall. It didn't make me angry that I was playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Jim?
For a couple of lines of dialogue.
Except for a couple of lines of dialogue that did make me angry. But also, they were so outdated that they were a little bit funny as well.
I will say that I am also roundly for this game, but I do think this should be a term that we use more on the show. Put it in the Grandia pile. Where it's like you played it at a point in your cognitive development where it just resonated with you, or it's unable to find a place in your brain at all. Like it's not, there's no in between. It's either one of those two things. For me, Grandia was that thing, but this game, no. It's not well written, a well constructed game. Like, it's very tightly plotted, which I appreciate. And I think the quality of life upgrades for the PSP version are really good. Like, a lot of the animations are great. Cutscenes still very much hold up. It's a good game overall, but it's either going to be, I think, in your top 10 or you're going to forget about it very quickly.
Yeah. Like, what was the one with the little boy and he turned into a dragon?
Breath of Fire.
Yeah. Breath of Fire is one of those for me, too.
Mm-hmm.
They're all essentially basically
was a
like
formative one for me.
Pixel games that are about a young boy doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think you either found your flavor of that or you didn't. Because, like, I really liked... There's a couple that I really liked. I like Grandia and I like Chrono Trigger, which are very much in the same vein as this game. Though, I mean, there are obviously a lot of difference, but kind of in that genre.
Pixel Boy does thing game.
Yeah, Pixel Boy does stuff. John, how do you feel about Lunar?
I also would throw it in the Grandia pile because I think that I'm roundly for it. I had a good time. It feels a little rote, so it's definitely a lukewarm roundly for. But as Jim was saying, I played this when I was 14, so I was definitely 13, 14. I was the right age for it, for sure. I thought it was amazing. I was really blown away.
That's like when I played Grandia.
I was not expecting Galleon to be evil for some reason, even though he had a sinister voice and everything. I liked the Nash twists as a teen, and I think
the Nash stuff really landed.
And I think like Phantasy Star 4 as well is a game that really I loved, but it's in the Grandia pile. Like it's fine. It's not bad. It's definitely, you can have a lot of affection for it if you played it when if you were younger. I do think, and I'm not the biggest Chrono Trigger booster, but I think Chrono Trigger is too good to be in the Grandia pile.
I agree.
That's like in the Final Fantasy 6 and 4 pile of 16-bit spritey ones. And Breath of the Wild, or Breath of Fire 3 is also in the Grandia pile, but it's a good one too.
It is. Well, I feel like you can just put most like Atlas games and game design games like kind of in that Grandia pile. Mm-hmm. Like they're good, but they're not spoken of in a way that like, you know, Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy 6 are.
Yeah, exactly. Or Personas and all that. Yeah, so that's but it's good. I think you would not have a bad time picking this up, even if you haven't played it when you're 13. But it's also like, if you have a 13-year-old, maybe let them play it instead of Baldur's Gate 3, like Jim's letting his daughter play.
Yeah,
she's too young for
problematic. She's way too little.
Come here. How should Daddy romance this orc man?
Which orc should Daddy go for? All of them? All right, let's move on. We have a Patreon. Oh, where are we playing to next time? Actually, that's in what
next game? Time in Fallout New Vegas.
Yay!
We will be installing a new mayor of Prim.
Ooh, new mayor?
Sheriff.
Yeah,
Apologies,
it's a sheriff.
We're installing a new sheriff at Prim.
Yay!
Hooray!
Yippee!
There's not really a whole lot side stuff you can do in that area, is there, between Good Springs and Prim?
No, there's a bandit between Good Spring and Prim that tries to do like a, you know, save my boyfriend kind of con on you.
Oh, and there's isn't there a jail? There's the jail in between, right? The powder.
Well, the jail is part of the Prim quest.
Yeah,
okay.
It can be, or it cannot be. It depends on what choices you make.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like a good stopping point.
Yeah.
Vanessa, too, was not able to convince the powder keggers to work with her. They didn't
flatter
her. We'll talk more next week
to?
about Vanessa, too, and what's going to motivate her. Hint, it's flattery. Anyone who flatters Vanessa, too, is going to get Vanessa, too, helping them.
Yep. And as I said, I will be playing Matrina Branks. The combination of all three of your personalities.
Where am I in that?
You're in the bruh part of...
Oh, okay. Branks, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. Branks is your couple's name.
All right. What's our Patreon like, Jim?
We do have a Patreon.
Or should we email
patreon.com
first, right? Is it emails first or after?
Do we have emails?
Vanessa, do we have any emails? We have the one that's very specific.
Yeah, we got one very specific, very kind email for Johnny about how to fix his computer.
I'll respond to that offline. But thank you.
Other than that, let's see. We got information about new ice cream flavors. We got... someone signed in with a new device. We got a YouTube Creator Monthly. Nope, no emails.
This is like listening to my mom talk about people she's talked about on the phone in the last 2 weeks.
Wait, we have a message from Vivian at Patreon. Yeah, some news about Zoom and what's new at Zoom, and yeah.
All right, what's our Speaking of Patreon, Jim.
Thanks, listeners. We do have a Patreon. It is available at patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast. On that Patreon, we have a ton of great bonus content. We actually haven't really talked about what we're doing this month, which is kind of a problem considering we are 7 days away from the end of the month.
We have talked about it. We have a date to record.
Sunday. We're recording.
Wait, did I miss it?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday
so Sunday,
afternoon?
what time and what is
What
the bonus?
works for you? The bonus is you will all come play my game that I'm doing a Johnny's Super Game special.
Oh, okay, that works. And I'm available anytime from it would be 2:30 my time to 6 my time.
Okay. Well, we'll see what Matthew's. If Matthew can't do it, I'll see if I can get Stan or someone as a Matthew surrogate.
Okay.
Because he's
All right,
sick.
and also on our Patreon, outside of the hours of amazing, hilarious bonus content that we have on there, other than that, way worth it thing that's on our Patreon, we also give you the ability to vote on games that we play on the show. Like Vanessa mentioned, the most recent vote winner was Fallout New Vegas, so we are going to be playing that on the show. If you'd like to have your voice heard, you can do so by signing up at the $5 tier at patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast. At the $3 tier, you don't get to vote on the games that we play on the show, but you do get access to all that sweet, sweet bonus content. And also, no matter what tier you subscribe at, we do like to personally thank some of our listeners, or some of our patrons every week. And I'm going to kick us off this week by thanking Jonessa Van Banks, Codab Games, Justin Rash, Anthony Cruz. It makes me uncomfortable to hear my name read on a podcast. Seth G, Alex Jokic, Tyler, Star Drifter, David Arnold, Michael Tully Klein Jr., Knopford, Brian Pitt, Citrus C, Andy M, and Samuel Mitchell.
And I would like to thank Huxley Iguana, Angel, Hang It Up, Chris Ryan, Isaac Wright, Choco Maco Taco, Jesse's Mom's Pizza, Dragon D's Balders Across Your Face, Trey, Gage La Charité, Johnny Five Alive, Wash in the Wind, Jack Mizell, Adam H., Cameron Shoei, and David Pascal.
I'd like to thank Joseph, Diamonds Are Dragon Poop, Hudson Roth, William Westgard, Rachel, Eric Pidcameni, Armin Hammer, John B. Quaker Oatman, Ian's, John Scala, Jake Dickerson, Sol Wagner, Ron, Are You Our Enemy? David Green, Megan Sullivan, Jason Timms, Jim Banks' real dad says played Chained Echoes now.
Boop. Also, you can send us an email. Our email address is squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people. Or find us on Blue Sky, squarerootspod.bsky.social.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe
Right.
on
Yep,
that's
something
right.
like that.
Yeah. Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. No longer Spotify, because Stitcher's dead. Y'all that listen on Stitcher, like Ron, you're going to have to find a new way to listen to podcasts. I use Podcast Addict on my Android. I used to use Downcast when I had an iOS device.
I use Podcast Addict, and I can vouch that it is a wonderful app that lets you play lots of different media very easily.
I use normal iTunes because I'm basic AF.
It's not even, isn't it called the Podcast app now?
No, whatever it is.
Yeah. Thanks to
All right,
Stephen
everyone,
Morris
that's
for
it
our
for
Square
this
Roots
episode
theme.
of
You can
Square
find
Roots.
Stephen on
Oh,
Twitter
yeah.
as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links are in the show notes to both of those.
All right, everyone, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. My name is Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant and Johnny Brandon.
I'm Vanessa, and I got Disney fever.
You love DPs.
I love DP.
Bye.
Bye.
You can't be greedy.
Do you think Daddy's a top or a bottom?
Oh, God. No. No. You're going to lose custody. Downtown Brown.
Cancelled. Downtown Brown.
Downtown Brown.